Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad to be back visiting with Paul, or talking with Paul and talking with you. I think you probably all know me. My name's John Howard. I'm the mayor of the city of Monroe. Looking at some of the things that we have coming up in the next several months to get us through the end of the year. We've just finished another Fall Fest right downtown, and Saturday weather was just stunning. It started off with about a 10 or maybe 20% chance of rain, and actually never materialized. There were people everywhere. Again, we are known as an events and festival city, so we do it real well. And what's interesting, when you see our team who puts it all together, is great. But the way Public Works handles the crowd, handles the trash, the way our streets department handles road closures, and the way our public safety people keep it all safe, just fantastic. Our concerts this year, we've had anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 at every single one. Our Christmas parade last year and our car show this year, the two largest events, where we had over 20,000 people at each. Of course, I can't guarantee that we're going to have 70-degree Christmas parades every year, but this one was really, really packed. So moving us to the Fall Festival, and generally those numbers haven't come out yet, but those will be somewhere between 10 and 12,000. So I always encourage you to put on your calendar well in advance of the events that we have coming up. Speaking of, we have Light Up the Night. In the coming months, we have Light Up the Night, which is where we light the Christmas lights. We'll have some music downtown, not a huge event. We have 12 Days of Christmas that we'll be doing. Those are all newly lighted. Each item in the 12 Days of Christmas has new lights. So that will start on Light Up the Night as well, first part of November. We'll have our Bikes, Trikes, and Magical Lights tour also before Thanksgiving. We do understand that it is Thursday night. We do understand that it is before Thanksgiving. But our schedule is such that during the holidays, you got to move something somewhere. So we are, of course, thankful for the gifts that the Lord has bestowed upon the city of Monroe. And it's just another way that we can celebrate. So Bikes, Lights, and Magical Nights will be before Thanksgiving. Then we have Thanksgiving, and then candlelight shopping really gets going every Thursday in December, and it is just, it's just beautiful down here. And it's kind of like, I've likened it stepping into a Norman Rockwell painting, right? So it's Americana, and it, of course, culminates with our parade and with Santa Claus on the fire truck, and in the Monroe area cheerleaders that are on the fire truck with Santa. It's a great way, just a great way to wrap up the year. Now, another point of excitement is our downtown green that you have seen under construction for the last several months is now officially open. So we will have day-to-day time that you can spend with your families and friends on the downtown green, throwing the frisbee, throwing the football, playing for a brief time on the splash pad before it gets too cold. And then we'll start really doing our events at the downtown green next year with a concert and with a kickoff concert, and the fountains will be going and there'll be food trucks, and it'll be a great way to start off our 2024. Moving to where we are with housing, we've lifted our moratorium on new neighborhoods. We had that in place for about 18 months. The reason we lifted it, we needed to bring our wastewater treatment plan into environmental compliance. So we've done that. Now we're looking at expanding that wastewater treatment plant, because we're at a point now that we are going to grow, but we're going to grow in a very smart way. We have a great planner. His name's Brad Callender. He's one of the best I've ever known. And we're going, my thoughts on this, and I think my council agrees with me, is that we do have density in the city. That's where we want our density. I want Gratis to remain the country, and I want Jersey to remain the country, and I want Good Hope to remain the country. County, the way the county works, they have their planning commission and how they're going to allow a certain number of homes. I think they're at 1 per acre right now. Their homes are about 2,000 square feet. We, on a house-by-house basis, the minimum in the city of Monroe is 1,600 square feet. But if you have a planned unit development, you can do something on a smaller scale. So the houses that everybody remembers by Napa that now you see right off the downtown green. And what's real interesting, looking back at my first 6 years, when I started as mayor, there were no new homes on South Madison and Davis. The downtown green was a decrepit fertilizer plant, and the actual green portion was just leftover construction trash. We did have a couple who had gone through and bought the old fertilizer plant and did some of the refurbishment work, and then we came in after the economic collapse of 2008. We came in and purchased that property from the bank. Immediately we sold the actual building to a development team, and then we kept the downtown green, which is what we were just talking about. And in that former fertilizer plant, there is now co-work at the Metro, which is full. There is Southern Ox Axe Throwing, which is just a blast. And then there's a reclaimed wood finisher. His name is Doug Root, just a great guy. And what you see in the way that has developed, the way the houses have developed down Madison and Davis, and folks have started buying homes down Madison and renovating those, it is catching. And this is happening all over town. Very, very important to me that we are cleaning up decades of really just decades of wrong decisions, decades of allowing a handful of property owners to allow their properties to just go basically defunct. I mean, when you have holes in the wall, holes in the floor, holes in the ceiling, we're just not allowing that anymore. We, of course, start out with a reinvestment of downtown, and downtown's 100% full. We've been the #1 downtown in the state. During my tenure as mayor, you've seen Silver Queen, which is under contract at the moment, be built. You've seen Sanders Consign and Design move and renovate the building that they share with the Brown Fig at the corner of Wayne Street and Spring. We have just torn down the Gwinnett Appliance, bought that for additional parking because we are in desperate need of parking. And then you see throughout how people are making decisions to live here, to work here, to play here. And you can't live here, work here, and play here if you don't have jobs. And we have jobs. We have jobs that are here with Walmart Distribution, Tucker Door, Nucor Logistics, which bought Steve South's company. It was Base Manufacturing, and there was a name in between. But either way, that's now Nucor. So we did Manufacturing Week last week. They have almost 200 people working at Nucor. We have about 150 working full-time at Tucker Door. And then Hitachi is our largest privately owned manufacturing company. I think they have 100 jobs open right this second. So we hear a lot about affordability being an issue, and part of that is just because we've become a very desirable place to live. Piedmont Hospital has now become one of the top 10 in the state, so you can stay here and get healthy here. Our school system has just come out with a new report that they're in the top 25% in the country. George Walton Academy is doing very well. So you can get educated here, you can get healthy here. If you want something, I call it Anytown USA. We have John's Supermarket, Quality Foods, and of course Walmart has been a staple in the grocery business. But we came in and worked with Lee Rowell to develop Monroe Pavilion, and John Argo is the lead developer on that project. But that's where you see Publix, Old Navy, Whataburger's under construction right now. It's supposed to open on November 26th. Ulta Beauty, which is one of the reasons that my wallet gets slimmer and slimmer every time my daughter wants to go visit. Five Below. So those are what we'll call your Anytown USA type businesses. That it's on the other side of 78, and that allows us to keep our downtown charm as well. We're very lucky right now in that DOT has finally taken notice of the needs of Monroe. Logan Probst, our city administrator, who is the best in the business, he and I went to Georgia Department of Transportation in Atlanta about 2.5 years ago, begging them to get started on the truck route. And they finally took us up on it, and that is under construction. Today is November 1st to October 16th. Whenever you're going to be watching this, we're looking at 24 months from today of having that truck route go through. Now what's going to happen is it's going to run just south of Meadows Funeral Home, come out at 83 and empty right into Unicia Drive. And that will lead to 78. So that arm will take about 2,000 trucks out of downtown. And what you know right now is traffic gets to be an issue because of the slow moving trucks at the lights, and it's very loud because of the trucks. So we'll get them out of here in 24 months. But we're going to have improvements also at the Broad Street. It's called Georgia 10, Broad Street and Highway 78 bridge. Whether we get a lighted intersection there, whether we get 2 large roundabouts, which I really don't see happening. But they're going to have to do something, because you're going to have trucks that back up from Broad Street all the way out into 78. I mean, with that traffic. But it's still going to be quicker than coming right through our beautiful downtown. Then we have some redevelopment plans for downtown as well, to where we can close from Highland Avenue to Spring, or maybe even on the weekends, Highland Avenue all the way to McDaniel or to Church, and make it a walkable mall. You talk about a blast. We know how to do our events right. We know how to do our special events right. And if we can have days where we can actually have music on the streets, and we can have restaurants that kick out onto the sidewalk on nice days, I just think there's a real promising future for Monroe right now. So I got stuck on traffic and transportation. I'm sorry. I also want to mention part of the live here, work here, play here, get healthy here, get educated here, shop here. You also need a place to play. And I think you all know that there's not a bigger backer of parks than I. And the reason for that, and I did this at a master plan community in South Florida, which kind of led me to put the pieces of the puzzle together in Monroe, is because I looked at Pilot Park, where the Lions Club had given a nice little playground play set. And I can't tell you if that was 15 years ago, 25 years ago, but it was very nice. But other than that, that park had not been very much anything but ignored over the last 40 years. And when I was a kid, there were tennis courts there and there were some play pieces, but other than that, no improvements other than what the Pilot Club gave us, which was very, very nice. Childers Park was developed by a group of friends of the city, and they put the sidewalks in, but there was no agreement with maintenance. So it looked dilapidated and forgotten. Then you take into account Matthews Park. Same thing, great park, but fairly ignored. And we had an agreement with the county that the county was going to do the maintenance, except for Childers. That just had no maintenance at all. The best thing that we can do for our children and families is to give them a place to play, that is free of charge, that daily they can show up and have a good time and enjoy each other's company and build long-lasting friendships. And that's the key to me to a successful society. Because think about it, we're separated in school based on academic achievement. Churches is the most segregated day of the week. I mean, black churches, white churches, Episcopal churches, Baptist churches, Catholic churches. We're all separated. And parks are the number one way to bring people together of all faiths, of all socioeconomic levels, of all religious backgrounds, and of all education levels. And it has been just astounding to see the success when you drive by Childers Park and the people that you see there. That if you drive by Matthews Park on the weekends, they are family reunion after family reunion after birthday party after another family reunion. It has just been outstanding. So we did that with Pilot. We've redone Childers. You've seen the slides. You've seen the dog park. Matthews is in great shape. That's our most recently completed project. Next year, we do the first phase of our river park. It's 123 acres that was donated to us by Reliant Homes. And Reliant gave us the 123 acres right along the Alcovey River. So the first phase of that, we'll be looking at kayaking and inner tubing and things like that from a drop point as yet unnamed. But it's a beautiful piece of property that is a lifelong environmental gift to the people of Monroe. So we'll do the first phase of that next year, or at least in the planning stages, and that might kick off the actual construction of it all the way to 2025. We still have to do Hammond. We've got to focus whether we're going to redevelop the whole park or whether we're just going to redo tennis courts, pickleball courts. We don't have any teams that play on the baseball field anymore, so we'll probably donate that plaque about Big John Griffiths back to the county, because he was such a vital member of our community who actually coached me in basketball. I know that wasn't his love, but we want to respect him. Put that plaque back at a local baseball field. Is probably going to go best out at Criswell Park, and would love to see that. So in the coming year, we have our eye on Rivian. We have the YMCA that'll be coming out of the ground. Construction that should actually start on that. I mean, we've been grading, but actual vertical construction should be coming out of the ground starting next month. And I don't have a timeline on the build out, whether it's 12 or 18 months, but you'll see a lot of changes in the way our traffic patterns will move as well, because it's going to be competition for our gyms, no doubt, but it's another way to bring our families together, and that's where that's our sweet spot, right? We're a very faithful, patriotic, family-oriented community, and it's just another way to strengthen the family bond and strengthen our city. So I'm still thrilled to be here. I'm still honored that you've selected me to be your mayor for the second term. And good morning. And of course, we'll have our work cut out for us for the coming decade, but we're on the right path. We've got a great team in place. We have a strong council that has really, I'm going to say bitten off as much as they can possibly chew, but they take their jobs very seriously to serve our constituents. Man, woman, and child, anybody knows, reach out to us at any time, and we'll bend over backward to continue to make positive strides for our city. I will say, and I call it the wraparound effect, the way people have started gravitating to Monroe because of all the reasons that I've been telling you. Our crime rate's down. Our churches are growing. So you see areas and counties around us to the north, the south, and to our west are bursting at the seams. Gwinnett County has 1 million people. DeKalb County folks are leaving left and right. They're trying to get out of Atlanta. There have been decisions from some other counties that have encouraged folks to take their best shot and move somewhere that they can raise their families, and Monroe is it. So you'll continue to see affordability be an issue here in the short term, and we're looking at ways that we can enhance our workforce housing. I'm not a very big apartments person. We do have one that has been approved, and I think we'll probably have another one in the coming 6 months. But after that, I'm kind of done with apartments. We need to find a way that our workforce can live in single family or small multifamily, duplex, quadruplex kind of facilities and houses, because we want to give everybody the opportunity to succeed. You got to start somewhere. I have a daughter right now. She's 24 years old, hoping to buy a house, and that's going to be a tough nut to crack with the way our market is at this moment. But we're not taking a step back. So come now, and you watch us get better and better and better. And I appreciate your time. I'm always honored that you listen to me. My email is jhoward@monroega.gov. My mobile number is 404-427-2707. You can contact me anytime. Thank you so much.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on Walton Wise. And we are so glad to have with us Melody Moon from Sonoma, Spain. And I know that there are many seniors who are particularly targeted for fraud and just things that you would not believe. I don't know how they figure out some of these things to do. But Melody has some really good information that will help you. So I'm going to turn it over to her now and let her just tell you about some things to be aware of. So Melody, take it away.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for having me today. Excuse me. We're good here. Again, I'm Melody Moon with Synovus Bank here in Monroe. And today we're going to talk about fraud. I will start off, I'm just curious to know who has been a victim of fraud or know someone else has been a victim of fraud. Anybody? Now, out of my 23 years of banking, this year I have seen the most fraud that I've ever seen. And they have got so creative. Just when we think we got it figured out, they come up with something else. It is so much fraud. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. You can't hear me?
Use your mic, so they'll hear you.
Okay. Okay.
I can do this, so you'll just have two, okay?
Okay, we'll do that.
Yes.
And we'll get this going here.
Yeah. Okay, you can just hold it like that.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, is that better? Okay, good deal, good deal. Okay, alrighty, so I will start here. I would love to think that we have so many nice people out there in the world. We would like to think that. And most people are. It's just right now, it has been so much fraud. And they have got so creative. Just when we think we got it figured out, they come up with something else. So my main thing today for me to say is technology is great. And I am a person that loves technology, and I loved a little bit of old school too. So you still truly balance your accounts, but we can't wait 30 days anymore, ladies. We just cannot. We just cannot. 30 days, all your money will be gone in 30 days. So even if you're not a computer person, you still can. I'm not sure who everybody's banking with, and I would love for it to be Synovus, but you can, most banks, you can call in, at least talk to a representative at the bank, or have some automated system that you can check your account that way. Okay, we don't want to wait 30 days anymore. 30 days, all your money can be gone. So I did want to, and I have some sheets here for us. I want to talk about the different types of fraud. And trust me this, it is not just seniors that have fraud. Even when you're young, people still have fraud because they get so creative about it. Say most people, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not moving this thing, but I'll get some pamphlets here. So we'll start off with 20-year-olds. Most millenniums, their type of fraud, most of the millenniums, their type of fraud is quick money, making checks, deposited into the ATMs, that sort of thing, because they want everything quick. Millennials want everything quick. They're great with technology, so they go with that. Then also, with people a little bit older, with seniors, sometimes it can be, thank you for doing that.
It's already good.
I got some more here. I got some here. Okay, thank you. And I have some more if we need it. Okay. So for the people who also was telling me that they have been a victim of fraud, what type of fraud was it? Do anybody want to share with it? Because I have some great stories about it, even though it's terrible that things happen, because fraudster can be very creative about it. I know a lot of times, a lot of us need some money, and I know publisher clearinghouse is a thing, but I had a customer was told that she had won $200 million from Publisher Clearinghouse, and that they were going to come in with the helicopter and land it at Synovus Bank. Now, I don't know who's familiar with where Synovus Bank is, but we don't have space for a helicopter unless they were going to land it on top of the building, but we do not. So, but when you need money, $200 million is a lot of money. It is. It's a lot of money. So they get very creative. And then also, I had a customer. He said they called him about his son that's in college and said that, well, I'll start with this. He was told that his son was in a car accident and that he had hit a pregnant lady was an attorney, that they had the bonding company calling him needing $60,000 because it was a very large bond. And if you're like me, my question was, you didn't recognize your son's voice over the phone? But it started with, my nose was broken, and that's why I sound differently. And I know all of us are thinking, I won't give them any money. When it is someone that you love, you will figure out how to come up with money. You just will. And one thing that I'm very, very big on, when we think it's something that your gut is telling you that is different, it's okay to hang up the phone. Because the longer you stay on the phone, they're more likely to figure out what it is to push your button. They just will. All of us think it can never happen to me. This can't happen. I'm smarter than that. It's not about a smarter thing. They will figure out how to push your buttons because it's a job for them. It is truly a job for them. They're very good at what they do. Because I know most of us saying, there's no way. I would have known that. And I did ask the question. I said, did you not know your son's voice over the phone? But they started with, who would ever thought to say, oh, his nose was broken, so you sounded different. You know, who would have thought of that? They are very creative at what they do. They are. And like I said, with the millenniums, most of them want fast money. So they're like, okay, I'm selling this four-wheeler for $2,500, but you just take this check and you just give me $200 back, and you're good. But now you're responsible. You have deposited that check in your account. So now you're responsible for that bad check. So then you're out of $3,000. So they are very creative in what they do. So for the people that have had fraud before, was it something that happened to you that you want to share, or is something that someone else you knew about? Anybody? And I know it's hard to say. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
I got gypped out of half for my retirement. When I retired, the man came in here, he was working for J.P. Turner and Company. He came in here and got his own offer. And he got me up for over half.
I can believe it, because it is so much fraud. So that's why, for me, I always say it is our job as a banker to help you. So that means, but we have to know when it's a time frame. On most things that we do, checks is a time frame, ACH to send something back, it's a time frame. So if you're a person that don't open your statement up for 3 months or 6 months, we can't help you, because it can be too old to help. So my thing is, it is our job to be the people that help you. So no question is too big or too small. So that means you come in or you contact us or your banker, even if it's other banks, it's their job to help you. So that means if it's something that feel good about it, it's okay to call them. It's okay to come into the bank and ask, because they do get so creative. And I want to make sure that I stress that it is okay. So I don't want people, I know with myself at Synovus, it's never two questions, too big or too small. So if you just want to check in this, it's our job to do that for you. And it's okay to do that. Because they are. It's okay to just ask. Because they say, oh, is this check good, or do we think this, whatever is happening with it, it is perfectly okay to do so. Because if not, if you take a long time, then they can't be helpful to you. And we want to be that we can return. A lot of times we can return things. If it's a bad check or ACH, it's things that we can do to help. Or if we can do disputes on things, we can do that. Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, and he got 19 of us up for over $400 and something thousand.
I can believe that. I'm so sorry to hear that, but yes, ma'am. And that's why I say it is ways that we can return things back. Like say if he gave you a check or something happened and he did a withdrawal out account, it's things that we can do to be helpful about it, but we just need to know that it's happening.
Well, they put him in the Fed for about 3 years, but they say he was making 11 cents an hour.
Oh, goodness.
And this been happening about 19, 20 years ago. And last week, he agreed to pay the restitution to all of us.
Right.
All 19 of us got to get the same amount on the same day. And
oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Where it came from.
It's very creative. Now, I will say this, the city of Monroe and the county, Walton County, does have officers that, it's a department strictly for that. And I have helped and worked with the city of Monroe and Walton County. So if it's something fraud that you have, it is a representative there that can be helpful as well. They can be. So we definitely want to make sure we're tapping into all the resources that we have around here, because the fraudster, we definitely don't want them to get away with it, because they're very creative. Because I know the city of Monroe, he had gave me, and I'm not even sure how that happened, but they were able to get our customers' information, and then they made a license and everything with her information and just had a different picture, created a different license. But she was a person that watched her money, so she was able to get all of her money back. But that's why I say again, we don't want to wait 3 months and 6 months and that sort of thing. And I totally get everybody's not into technology. You know, some people don't want to do online banking, they do not. That's why I can't stress enough, please reach out to your local banks. Because if not, you know, if you don't want it, everybody's not a computer person. And I always laugh because it's millennials and they come in and they're so quick and fast, even if they're 5 and 6, sometimes they are very good at technology. They are. So, but we still can do it the old school way as well, still balance your account and watch your money. Definitely watch it, because they get so creative about it.
You know, some banks offer fraud protection.
Absolutely.
On your account. I had a situation where someone down in Los Angeles was trying to get $500 and something out of my account.
Yes.
So the bank called me like, are you in Los Angeles right now? I'm like, no, I'm in Athens, Georgia.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
They froze it so they couldn't get it. Now that's a great side. Now when my husband and I were on vacation in Miami, they froze our accounts because they're thinking, are you in Miami?
Now, I will say this, anytime, like that Miami for you, anytime I go on vacation, I do ask to put notes. You can add notes to your credit cards and your debit cards and that sort of thing to let them know that you're the one in Miami. Because I'm like, I don't want to block it and I don't have any money.
Yeah, we just made a phone call and they opened it back up, but it's like, it's us.
Yes. But yes, we do have a fraud department for that way as well. But yes, I definitely stress that. You do need to note that. So I always make sure I get my accounts noted to say that I am out of town. So my card's not being blocked and it's really me. So definitely so. And it's perfectly okay to still write checks, but just know that even from back in the day, account number and routing number is on every single check that you write. It is, and it's okay. And it's okay, even if you're writing checks. We just need to make sure that we're watching our accounts. We do. We have to make sure that we do, because they get so creative. Very creative.
I had a situation 2 years ago that I was buying a car, Craigslist, and I was to wire the money to the people to get the car, and Keith caught that it was a fraud and saved me from losing about $20-something thousand.
Absolutely. And I will say this, with wires, it's like giving somebody cash. You can't unring the bell is what I say all the time. We can't unring the bell. Once a wire is gone, it's gone. Now, I know also the CVS here in Monroe was very helpful with us and a lot of other people. Apparently, they were doing fraud and they were asking for the prepaid cards. And it was where a person, if you were doing 5 cards, all of a sudden, that's out of your norm. And then CVS in Monroe was deciding not to issue any cards, okay, at that time, because it was somebody, because they'll get a prepaid card, you'll give them that account number, they'll take the money off, and then it's gone. And then it's different ways on the fraud, because also whether it's you giving money for somebody that you love and finding money, also scaring you, because I know I had it where the customer was told that they had a ticket and they were going to be arrested, or it's the IRS. IRS only sends letters. IRS do not call you unless you've called them for a reason. But if not, they're always sending letters. So it had scared them, and I said, well, have you ever been to California? But they were saying, oh, they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest. So they have a way of scaring you. So from scaring you or doing money and wires for people that you love, that's one way. But also, sometimes people need companionships. And I know that we do. That's just life. And I know that we all do in some sort of way. And I know that Facebook is great, but it is something you can create. You can be whatever name you want to be on Facebook. You can post whatever picture you want to be on Facebook. But we have to be cautious about that, because we can be on technology. You can be whoever you want to be. And no one has any way of knowing who that person is on that computer, because they're very good at what they do. And I know I had a customer, she told me, well, he's always fishing with his son on the boat. We have no way to know. With technology, you can take a picture and just post it on Facebook, and you put whatever you want to with it. And then also what I was saying about the CVS cards, they stayed on the phone with her while she go to Wander, because the CVS in Monroe declined to do the card. So they stayed on the phone with her all the way while she rode to Wander to make sure they got her money. That's what I'm telling you, they're very creative, and it is truly a job for them. It is. They are. So I know we all need companionship, and I want everybody to make sure they have that. But we do have to be cautious about what we see on Facebook, because Facebook is a lot of happy pictures, but sometimes that's not always what it is. So we do have to be cautious about it, because they are. And I know he fishes with his son, and then turned out he didn't even have a son. So, now I did have one. It was some cases that the dollar amount was so far back that she wasn't able to get her money back, and she lost a lot of money because of that. So that's why I want to say we got to stress about social media. So, and a lot of times social media is some people that we truly do know around town. So I always say that I think that's always good, local people that you know, that you can meet and socialize with, versus just people all over other states and just posting different things on Facebook. Because like I said, they can put any picture you want, say whatever name, whatever age, whatever it is you want to be. You can be on social media all the time. We definitely can. Also, this is new for me, this type of fraud, and I'll give this out to you too. Apparently, a new fraud thing also is getting your Medicaid information. And apparently your social is attached to the cards. So they're able to get your social security number with that. And then buy that card, but having your social, that opens you up to all different levels type of fraud, because on the Medicare card, it has your social. So apparently that's a new thing, that they're calling in to people and asking for their information. And I always say, over the phone, let's not give out any personal information for that reason. Now, once, if it's, go to your local departments to speak to them, and I do have some flyers here for that, because this was new for me. Apparently they're calling in on your Medicare and getting your social, using your social, and then getting different type of debt in your name, because your social open you up for all kind of credit cards and that sort of things, or loans and that sort of thing. So now apparently they're calling you in from Medicaid and Medicare, asking for your information. And I also heard that they were saying, oh, you about to get a increase in it, so then you're more likely to give out your information, because they're saying you're going to get $500 more a month, or you're doing a different dollar amount that you're going to be getting. And if you're like me, everybody can use some extra money. So of course, people are more likely to give out their information. So I would say, let's not give out any socials over the phone. Any type of social information, or any Medicare information or Medicaid information over the phone, because apparently now it is a scam to do so. And once again, I'll say that it is so many different types of scam, and I'm going over the basic ones that I've heard of before and that I've experienced before. But every day, every year, when we got it figured out, we got somebody coming up with another type of scam. So let's not give out, thank you. Let's not give out any of our personal information out over the phone. Now, is there anything that we can go over here that anybody had any questions about, or have experienced any fraud that you might have a question for me? This is today. I'm open to questions. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question about, when you go to the doctor's office for the first time and fill out that intake form.
I'm sorry, you said driver license office?
The doctor's office.
Okay, doctor's office.
They ask for your social security.
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't have to put that in there, right?
I'm fine doing it at a doctor's office because I'm inside the building. I'm not good with giving any information out over the phone. Thank you. Any information on the phone. But I would if I'm actually physically in the doctor's office. Then yes, I would. I would. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Is there a way to, how with a spam email, I block it, but then I still get it coming in.
Yes, and it is ways to try to block it, but once again, that is one of the bigger things, that when you block this number, then they create a new number, And I have also seen that they created, we're thinking we're talking to her, and they've made it it's another person. So we have to be cautious about it. And then two, I know normally I'm not at home during the day, so when I'm off, and then my phone's constantly ringing off the hook about something, constantly. I'm like, geez, nobody even know I'm here. But they are constantly on the phone, calling all the time. And and we've all won something. You always have fun. You have won something, or you have some different type of warranty that you just got. It's always something. So my biggest thing is, I know we're not used to hanging up the phone, and we feel like that's being mean. Let's hang up the phone. Let's hang up the phone, because the more we stay on, the more creative that they can get. Yes, ma'am.
Another thing that just happened to me too. Matter of fact, since I've been here, I've had to delete an email where I keep getting a message saying, especially if you order a lot off the internet, like I do through Amazon, I got a message from UPS saying I had a package that they couldn't deliver.
That is, I get them constantly.
They couldn't deliver deliver because they needed my address.
Yes.
So I went to the post office.
Yes.
And the man behind the counter was like, wow, they are real slick. They got our real logo on here.
I'm telling you.
He says, but if you have a package mailed to you, you've already entered your address.
Yes.
He says, but what they do, they make you give them your address, and then they slowly, gradually ask you more personal information.
And then also they need your zip code for different things as well. So you given the address, now the zip code works. Right. So if they got the card information, because anytime you're doing purchases, you need your zip code and your address. So if they figured out this part, but they need your zip code to make it work. So then they're going back and forth with you, but you're exactly right. I constantly get it as well.
She's like, this is our real logo. This is the exact logo.
They are, from phone numbers, logo. Anytime we think we got it figured out, it's something else.
Leave a letter in your mailbox.
Yes.
We're not going to send you an email.
Constantly they do. That's funny because I know I get it all the time as well. We do all the time, and I'm like, I hadn't even ordered anything, but I was like, so no, that package is not for me. So, but they are very creative about it with packages and saying, okay, if I want $1 million, why you can't just take this $200 out of the $1 million I just won? But they said, but no, I'm gonna need this. And just like the customer with the helicopter, they needed to pay the pilot for it, but she won $200 million. So I was like, they get very creative. So I can't stress enough to please just hang up the phone, because they get so creative. And it's so many scams. They get bigger and bigger and bigger with things. They do. So we just have to make sure. Yes, ma'am.
Well, this happened last Thursday.
Yeah.
My husband called me and said, babe, are you behind with your car payment? I said, behind? No, I'm behind with my car payment. He said, well, somebody just called and said we owe $23,000 and this is Citicorp. If you don't pay it, we'll come and serve you now. I said, you tell him to call me.
Yes, I'm going to serve me now. Okay. They get so creative.
What got me that he said, this is Walton County, and we live in Walton County, so.
Right, they do. They get
somebody's name and all that stuff.
They do. And then the other customer I was saying about the scam with the 60,000, they were passing the phone around. So let me speak to my boss here, and this is the officer. So they were passing the phone around too. So he was getting more and more afraid of with it because it wasn't just one person. So let me speak to him. And so he's like, oh gosh. And then it was at the middle of the night too. So that's a whole nother thing too, because you half asleep and it's your son, so. They get very creative, so it's not always a one-man show. It can be other people involved in it as well.
So when they do fraud and stuff, does the bank put the money back in, or?
That's why it's a time frame depending on how it is, because we can return it back to the other people. We can return that item back to the originating bank. So, but that's once again, that's why we need to know the time frame, because if it's too old, we can't return it back to the other banks. So we need to know right away. It can't be 3 months. We can't return it back to them. But if it's something you figured out last night or last week, we definitely can. It just depends on what type of fraud it is. Okay? So we definitely need to know in a good time frame. And once again, it is perfectly okay to reach out to your local bank. This is what we're here for. This is what you're here for. So that means no questions, too big, too small. Pick up the phone or come into the branch about it. It's totally okay to do that because it's so big. And once again, it's not just seniors. It's a lot of people that have different types of fraud because they get so creative, so creative. Yes, ma'am.
Well, what does it mean when somebody go wrong in chapter 7, chapter 13?
Well, that's that's a little bit different than fraud.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is. So that's like bankruptcy. So that's a little bit different. And you do have to go to court for bankruptcy. So that's a little bit different than fraud on it. So you would be in
How long does it when they go and do that?
It's 2 different types of bankruptcy. So it just depends. Okay? So you just let us know. So that is a little bit different than fraud.
Oh, okay.
But, yes, ma'am.
My son, he was brought, they called and they told him that if he didn't pay $10,000, they were going to go to a daycare and get his grandson and earn him and everything. So he went and got some cards, and then somehow there was a police officer and he told him, he said, no, that's fraud.
Once again, when it's someone you love, you will be running and they'll get in your head about it and you on tour because it's your grandbaby. You're trying to figure out what am I going to do? How am I going to get the $10,000? What am I going to do? So they are very creative. So many different stories. So trust me, It's not just you, it's just not him. It is a lot of people that has been a victim to fraud or even know someone else that has, because they get very creative. Because when you get in your emotions about stuff, you don't see things as clear as you once would if you were sitting there, but it's the grandbaby, so it's all in your emotions. So you all tore up about it, so they get in your emotion about it. Or you're happy about it and you think you won $200 million that you need. So you do, and that's just human nature. We just do. So that's why I said I think it is best to hang up the phone, because they get so creative. And the longer you stay on there, the more likely they will push your buttons. So it may not have been that part that they said worked, but if you stay on there longer, they'll keep pressing and pressing it until they figure out one that will. So that's why I was like, let's hang up the phone. Definitely so. Definitely so. Yes, ma'am?
Several years ago, they got on my computer, they hijacked my computer, and I couldn't do what I needed to do.
Yes.
So I had to go to the bank and get everything changed.
And they're asking getting your computers clean as well too, because it was something that I was getting refunded, and they wanted to remote into my computer to refund it. It's no need for someone to remote in your computer, because once you remote in, you can see everything else that you have, even the things that we were talking about. And then you open up to my accounts and cards or whatever. So I'm not a big fan in ever letting somebody remote in, because that opens up a whole nother thing. So definitely no remoting in. No remote in, unless you go to a tech store, then that's different for me. But as far as just a random person remoting in, I'm not good with letting someone remote into my computer, because that's a lot of your information. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Making sure, like, you get my beans for 1 day, but not for 2 days. So make sure that I'm watching my beans. Just making sure. Yes, ma'am.
It's okay if you let your, like, Norton security get in your computer, get rid of something.
Well, well, see, it's open-ended. That can be the case that you can get one, but for me, I'm more comfortable with if I'm initiating it, but not seeing the app or somebody sending me a link or something like that. Because when you open up a link, that opens up a lot of different things too. Okay, so I'm more open to it if I'm the one initiating it. Or like I said, of course, you can use something here local or somewhere, or Geek Squad and that sort of thing. But if not, if they're calling me, I never do. Never do. If somebody's calling me, I'm never the one initiating anything. I'm not open to giving out my information over the phone, because they get very creative. But I know tech support does exist, but I would be more comfortable with it if I'm the one calling them versus them calling me up. So, hey, for $20, you can do this. I'm not good with giving out any information with that. Okay? So definitely not. Definitely not. Only if you started it. If you initiated, you know it's a problem. Okay? Yes, ma'am?
I don't know if anybody else has gotten an email like this, but just a heads up. I've gotten an email twice that says that I owe $399 to Geek Squad.
Have you ever used Geek Squad before?
I've never had I didn't respond to it, but they wanted to respond.
It's in Best Buys.
So be aware of that too. Y'all need something like that.
Well, just in general with emails. With emails, be cautious with emails. Because as like Facebook and that sort of thing, with emails, we don't know where they're initiating. We don't know the people that's on the other end. We don't know them at all. So we definitely have to be cautious about emails. Because sometimes clicking on a link can open up so many different things that you weren't meaning for it to start. So we have to be very cautious about any kind of links that it might be on the computer. Well, and that's why I say technology is great. It is. It can make things go faster and it can be helpful. But it also can do bad things if we're not cautious about it. So we definitely have to be cautious about it. So with the emails and Facebook and all kind of different Twitters and all kind of different stuff. So let's just be cautious. And even with just a regular check, we have to still watch our accounts, because just with your regular check has your routing and account numbers. And with technology, they can take that routing and account number and do what we call ACH. So it makes electronic checks, and they cannot have your physical check in their hand. So that, once again, it has to be something that we watch. Okay, because it can be like, I don't do any online stuff, I don't do this, I don't do this, but you still gave out a personal check, which we all have for many years, and it used to not be an issue, and now They can go and make it a new check. I had some customer, yes, you did this check for $10 and now that check is $2,000. Who knows? Because they have a way of what they call washing the check off, and they change it. And then they'll change the entire check. It doesn't even have your name on it anymore. It just has your routing and account number. So, and that's not something with you doing online banking or anything. It's just what the way of the world has changed so much with technology, where you can go in and truly change a check and make it somebody else's name. Only thing's the same is the routing and account number. They get very creative. I've seen them take the account number and make it a whole business account, and it was a personal account. So it's just still, once again, we have to watch it. And we can't wait 30 days anymore. Yes, ma'am.
You're not advising us not to pay our bills online, are you?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have to watch our money. It used to be, what I'm saying is to not wait 30 days anymore. I just think we can't do that anymore. So much can happen in those 30 days now. So, and that can be, like I said, once again, you don't have to be doing online banking. You can just be calling the automated system and checking off your checks to make sure it's correct. Okay? So if you're a person that's not comfortable with online banking, I'm perfectly okay with that. Or you can go into your bank and check things off. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's just I think we can't wait for 30 days like we once could. Well, you could wait 30 days and sit down and truly balance our accounts. But now it's just in 30 days, so much could be happen in those 30 days that I can't stress that enough. So I do think that it's okay to pay things online. Okay, no worries. But we just have to be making sure that we're watching our accounts. That's my biggest thing. Okay, just truly not waiting the 30 days anymore. But it's okay. You're a person that you don't like to write checks. You're more of I want to pay this online. Yeah, I don't like a mail either, but it's okay. It's just, we have to just making sure that we're watching the account, just not waiting a long time anymore, okay? So that's the biggest thing here for me. Anything else I can do for you?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
I do online banking, and I have it set up on my phone so that you might have progressed since I had to go out.
Right.
But it's face recognition.
Oh.
And then
yeah, you big. Yeah, that's big. That's a millennium move.
But yesterday it said not recognizable. Enter your password.
Okay.
So
you can have it. You can have it both ways. Now, I don't do mine with the face. Like I said, most millennials do, so that is big to do it that way. I'm a password person. I have an actual password. But yes, you can. And sometimes with technology works great when it is working. Sometimes it can have a glitch in it, and it doesn't necessarily mean fraud. It could just have a glitch in it because it is technology.
That was all. I did use my password because I had that also and got into it, but I thought I might ought to call Melody before I did that because it could have been something, a scam. Anyway,
right.
Okay.
But once again, that is always good to call me about it, and it is okay to do that. It is. But technology is like TV. They work, and then when they're not working, they're not working. So it could just be a glitch in it, but it still is always good to call when it's something that you're concerned about, and it's always good to do that. And I don't want anybody to feel like, I don't want to feel like I'm bugging somebody. It is okay. Even if it's Synovus or it's not Synovus, it is their job to be helpful. It is, and it's okay, big or small. So I'm very big on doing that. So we're good. So it is so many different types of fraud. And then also with technology, like I said, 30 days, we don't want to wait that. And you can use technology because technology can be helpful to you. You just got to be limited on what you put out there in the world. Because everything's, like I said, we think we're talking to this person, we're really talking to this person. So just be limited on, okay, I'm putting on Facebook that I'm going out of town for 2 weeks and all these different things. So now they know in your house, you're out of your house for 2 weeks. So just be cautious what we put out there in the world. So we want to be cautious about that, guys, because we don't want them to know every single move you make. Write down, some people on social media write down every step they take, every food they eat, right at that second. Everybody knows what they're doing. So I would say not even just technology, just for security reasons. Don't tell people every single thing you're doing, putting it out there in the world. I would suggest not doing that. You can take your pictures and post your pictures out there in the world, but just be cautious about posting every single thing out there for everybody to see all the time. So we want to be cautious about that.
All of this happening in Walton County?
It's in the world. It's in the world.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.